إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده رسوله. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفسه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. My dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you for this program which is on 10 dangerous pitfalls on the path of seeking knowledge. On the path of seeking knowledge, we are going to talk of 10 dangerous pitfalls. But before we start these 10, I need to ask you some questions. So let's start. Answer me. Seeking knowledge is compulsory for whom? For the Imam of the Masjid? For scholars it's compulsory? For Islamic speakers? For whom? Every single Muslim. That's the correct answer. Now, we know, my dear brothers and sisters, is that there are people today, most Muslims, they say they don't realize that seeking knowledge is compulsory on every single Muslim. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslima, beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Seeking knowledge is compulsory for every single Muslim. As has been recorded, this hadith has been recorded by Imam Ibn Abdul Barr in his book Jami Bayanul Ilm, and it has been authenticated by Sheikh Albani in Sahih al-Jami, hadith number 3913 and 3914. So now my dear brothers and sisters, this is not our topic today. We're not going to talk about the importance of knowledge. I assume you know seeking knowledge is compulsory. There are people who say, Hum jahili ache, we are better being ignorant. Even though Allah has said in the Quran in Surah 6, Surah Anam, verse 35, فَلَا تَكُنَنَّ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Never be from the ignorant. Even though Allah has said in the Quran in Surah Baqarah, Surah 2, verse 67, that Musa alayhi salam said, أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. I seek Allah's refuge that I should be from the ignorant. But yet majority Muslims, they say, Hum log jahili ache, we are better off being ignorant. And they have a theory, they say that if we are ignorant, we can tell Allah, Allah, I didn't know, I was ignorant. And they think that this is a way of escaping on the day of judgment. That why you didn't do this, I didn't know about it. Why you didn't do this, I didn't know about it. So this theory is a wrong theory. Why is it a wrong theory? It's mentioned in the Quran in Surah Mulk, Surah 67, verse number 10, that Allah Rabbul Alameen has told us that the people of Jahannam will say, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَاقِلُ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. If we would have heard and if we would have thought about it, we would not be from the people of the fire of hell. If we would have heard, if we would have thought about it, as some people say, I don't even want to listen. They say, I don't want to listen. So the people of Jahannam are saying, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ. If we would have heard. And some people say, I heard about this, but I'm not going to think about this. I heard this, but I'm not going to think about this. So the people of Jahannam will say, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَاقِلُ. If we would have heard and thought about it. So they are regretting it. Then they would not be from the fire of hell. Now where are they? They are in the fire of hell. And Allah has told in the Quran that these people, the people of the fire of hell, they are repenting and they are regretting. We wish we would have heard and thought about it, we would not come here. It's so clear, it's so open. The matter of Islam is the truth. So the truth is so clear for those who want to see it, that they are regretting. We wish we would have heard, we would have thought about it, we would not be here. Meaning they were ignorant. They are ignorant. They are people who are ignorant. The people of Jahannam, these people who are regretting, they are ignorant. They didn't hear, they didn't think about it. Now, is the theory right? What is the theory people have? If we are ignorant, we will be saved. If that is true, these people should not be in the fire of hell. These people should not have been in the fire of hell. And we have majority people, they say that little bit knowledge is good, too much knowledge is not good. If you get too much knowledge, you will go crazy. So they say, don't go deep, don't go deep. Be like grass on the top, don't go deep. Now, is this true? It's wrong. Why is it wrong? Because Allah has Himself taught us in the Quran, in Surah Taha, Surah number 20, verse number 114, وَقُرْ رَبِّي زِدْنِي إِلْمًا, and say, O my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Zidni ilma, increase me in knowledge. If more knowledge was bad, we would not have been taught this. We would have been taught, oh Allah, give me little bit knowledge. Don't give me more knowledge. But we have been taught, Rabbi zidni ilma. So if you are very knowledgeable in your family, which dua you should read? If you are the most knowledgeable person in your family, which dua will you read? Rabbi zidni ilma. You want more? Even if you are the most knowledgeable in your family, yes, I want more. If you are the most knowledgeable in your city, in Kuwait, the most knowledgeable person is you. So you will do dua, Rabbi zidni ilma. Oh my Lord, give me increase in knowledge. The most knowledgeable person of this ummah is Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he did the dua, Rabbi zidni ilma. But this is entirely only some introductory comments. This is not our topic. So we have so many people who are in this vast pit called ignorance. The pit of ignorance, where they say we are better off being ignorant. The answer is, فَلَا تَكُنَنَّ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Surah 6 verse 35. أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ أَنْ أَكُونَ مِنَ الْجَاهِلِينَ. Where they say more knowledge is bad. What's the answer? Rabbi zidni ilma. Where they say that if we are ignorant, we have a way of escape. The answer is, people of Jahannam will say, Surah 67 verse 10, they will say that لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلُ مَا كُنَّا فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Why are we talking this? So that you can also help someone to come out from that pit. But my brothers, after a person is saved from that pit and he walks ahead on the path of seeking knowledge, today our topic is, we are going to talk about 10 dangerous pitfalls on the path of seeking knowledge. Now I believe all of you are not of that category. Of that category, inshallah. You're not from that category who say we are better off being ignorant. Correct? Yes or no? Yes? Yes, mashallah. Yeah. Okay, so you're safe from that big pit. Now we have come here and we are going to talk today of the path ahead. And I want to share with you these 10 dangerous pitfalls. And if you are with me during this lecture, by the time we get up, inshallah, you will remember these 10 points. But you have to be physically with me and even mentally with me, inshallah. If you also repeat when I tell you to repeat, you will remember these 10 points, inshallah. So let's start the first dangerous pitfall. And that is Nia, intention. What should be our intention in seeking knowledge? What should be our intention? What should not be our intention? And as we know, the first hadith of Sahih Bukhari is Innamal amalu bin niyat. The reward of the deeds are upon intention. The basis and foundation of deeds is on the intention. So now we need to have good intention. But what is good intention? Now brothers, everyone full concentration. I'm going to ask you random intentions. You will tell me this is good or bad. Okay? Someone says that I am seeking knowledge so that I can show people how knowledgeable I am. Good or bad? Louder. Bad. Someone says that I am seeking knowledge so that I can win over and defeat these people. So that I can, personally, I can win. I want to win. I want to defeat people. Okay, now if he says, I want to seek knowledge so that I can defend the message of Islam. Good. Good or bad? Okay. Someone says, I am seeking knowledge to worship Allah. Worship Allah. Good or bad? I am seeking knowledge so that I can save someone else from the fire of hell. So we can see that intention can be different. And do you know, my dear brothers and sisters, intention is something which is very volatile. You are sitting over here with good intention, And it can happen that suddenly something happens and our intention changes so fast. We have the hadith of our beloved Prophet ﷺ where he said this is like dabibatun naml, like the creeping of ants. So if you keep something nice, you've kept something somewhere, and after some time you find all ants have come. And not that you heard the sound of big crowd coming, big crowd and big, the ground was shaking because the ants were coming. They came quietly and they climbed up and don't even come to know. And this is how intention gets spoiled. So it's very important that we are cautious about our intention. I have a question. Does the intention get spoiled before you do a deed, during an action, during a deed, or after a deed? Before? Who says before? During or after?
It can come through all the three.
Okay, any other answer? Huh? And the right answer is all three. Sometimes from the beginning only the intention is bad. Okay, I'm going to offer salah in the first saf so that I can show people. Sometimes while doing an action the intention gets spoiled. A person thought, I'll go and give for the sake of Allah this money. But when he went and he saw people are watching, so he said, let me at least show them that how much I'm giving. And sometimes in the beginning also the intention is good. During an action also the intention is good. But after you do an action, after that the intention gets spoiled. Like for example, a person got up in tahajjud for Allah. He prayed tahajjud salah for Allah, good intention. But later when he met people, he thought that, now let me at least tell them that I got up today for tahajjud. He said, today I got up for tahajjud, was feeling so good. Now, sometimes the intention goes wrong after doing an action. And Shaitaan is trying to spoil our intention because innamal amalu bin niyat. Deeds are upon intention. So I will mention one hadith. It's a very dangerous hadith of our beloved Prophet ﷺ. There's a very big warning. It's in Sunan Ibn Majah with the authentic chain of narration. The Prophet ﷺ said, Man ta'allama al-ilma, whoever seeks knowledge. Whoever seeks knowledge. Good deed or bad deed? Good deed, no? Seeking knowledge is good deed, isn't it? Man ta'allama al-ilma liyubahiya bihil ulama. So that his name will be among the ulama. I want my name there. Or liyumariya bihil sufaha, or to defeat some foolish person. I am seeking knowledge to defeat some foolish person. Or liyasrifa bihi wujuhan nas ilayh, or to turn the faces of people towards him. Nobody looks at me. I am living a life where nobody is even looking at me. So if I get knowledge, so at least people will look at me. Good intentions or bad intentions? All three. The Prophet ﷺ said, if he seeks knowledge for these three intentions that I mentioned, adkhalahu Allahu jahannam. Allah will put him in Jahannam. So serious, isn't it? So serious. So my dear brothers, take care of your intention. If the intention goes bad, then what do we have to do to make it correct? We have to go in the jungle for 40 days so that my intention becomes proper. We have to do, like in school, if you do something wrong, some schools, they still follow the system. They sit up and down 10 times. What to do to make our intention proper? And do you know, intention can become proper like this, it can get spoiled also like this. We have the famous hadith of Umar radhiyallahu anhu recorded in Sahih Bukhari, where he said, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I love you more than everything in this world except my own self. Except my own self, everything else in this world I love you more than everything else. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Umar, you have not yet believed. So the Umar radhiyallahu anhu immediately said, O beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I love you now more than everything in this world, even more than my own self. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-an ya Umar, Umar, now you have truly believed. So he immediately corrected his intention. What do we learn? To correct your intention, you don't have to climb the tree or go and get out in tahajjud, then only your intention will be proper. Immediately you can correct your intention. And we have to be on a constant watch for our intentions. So the first point is taking care of our intention and seeking knowledge. We saw some wrong intentions. Now let us count some good intentions. Come on, now you are going to tell me some good intentions in seeking knowledge. Tell fast. Excuse me. Yeah. To please Allah. I am seeking knowledge to please Allah. Tell fast. To bring our family members on the right path. To be a source of guidance. Allah will guide, but to at least try to bring them on the straight path. Yes. To spread the right message. Yes. To reform ibadah. Be firm in ibadah. Very good. Very true. To become firm in ibadah. And to defend the message of Islam. We can't defend if we don't have knowledge. So these are all good intentions, alhamdulillah. The more your intention, the greater the reward. You do one deed with this much intention, you get this much reward. You do the same deed with this much intention, you get this much. And you do that same deed with a very big intention, you get a very big reward. So increase your intention to bigger intentions. Alhamdulillah. So first point is intention. Now some people fail over here, as we saw. Their intention is only wrong. So this is absolutely wrong. They want to seek knowledge for other reasons. So this is absolutely wrong. And finally, before we go ahead, let us quickly see one more masla in this. What is better? Shaitaan, he asked this question. He says, you are surely doing this to show people. You're doing this for showing people. Sitting here on this table like this is for showing people. Better you don't do. You are doing charity to show people. Better you don't spend in charity. You're going in this first saf of the masjid just to show people. Don't go in the first saf. So what should we do? Shaitaan gives us two options. He says, either you do with wrong intention or don't do. So which is the right answer?
To ignore both.
Yes?
To ignore the both and follow
He doesn't give the third option. Only two options and both the options are wrong. First option, you do with bad intention. Second option, don't do. But he doesn't give the third option, that do it with the right intention. And that is the right answer. So if ever Shaitaan tells you, you're doing this for show off. You're keeping a beard. Your beard is becoming big for show off. Don't keep a beard. Better you don't keep a beard. This is better, Shaitaan will tell you. So what is the right answer? Now I'll keep a beard and for the sake of Allah. I will do charity for the sake of Allah. I will offer salah. I'll be in the first for the sake of Allah. I'll be on the first table in the front, seeking knowledge for the sake of Allah. Never go away from a good deed out of the fear of ar-riya, show off. If you leave a good deed for the sake of show off, out of the fear of show off, so you left that deed for the sake of people. You left that deed also for the sake of people. Don't do it for the sake of people. Don't leave it for the sake of people. Do it for the sake of Allah. So this is the first point. Let's go ahead. Second point. Now there are so many people who maybe they don't fall into this first pit. They go ahead, but they fall into a second pit. What is this? Maybe they have good intentions, but they have a second big problem. They're in the second pit. That is, they don't do anything to seek knowledge. Only good intention is not enough. Having good intention is very important, but having good intentions and not doing anything, is it going to give us knowledge? That a person has good intentions since 10 years, but he never did anything. Only good intentions is not enough. We have to do something also. So the second point is mujahida, struggle to get knowledge. And my dear brothers and sisters, we all know that Allah says, "Laysal insana illa ma sa'a." Man will not get except that which he strives for. So we see that part of getting something is effort. So we have to do something to get something. You want to get education, you have to study. You have to get ilm of knowledge, you want to get the ilm of Islam, you have to study. And I can mention the beautiful words of Yahya bin Abi Kathir rahimahullah, the Tabi'i. He said, "La yustata'ul ilm bi rahatil jism." You don't get ilm with the comfort of the body. He said, if you want comfort of the body, you don't get ilm like this. You know, if a person is very comfortable, so then he will be rather at home. You're more comfortable at home or you're more comfortable here? You'll be more comfortable at home. And if a person is very comfortable, he wants to be more and more and more comfortable, he won't be able to get to knowledge. He says you can't get knowledge with comfort of the body. You have to sacrifice at least some comfort to be able to get ilm. At times a person feels tired, but he reads for the sake of Allah. Suppose you've made a daily target that I will read the Quran daily this much. And we need to have, every one of us should have a daily target, all of us, of the Quran without fail. No question of not doing it. There's no question of not doing it. Every single day of our life, you need to spend some time with the Quran, the book of Allah. Now you're very tired one day. Now what? Don't get knowledge with comfort of the body. Don't leave up something in which you are consistent. So we need to put in efforts. We need to sacrifice. So what efforts can we talk of? Come on now, let's have some examples of effort to get knowledge. Our first point was intention. Now we are talking of effort. Can you give me some points of effort? Setting a time in the day. Removing that time, and even if you feel lazy, even if Shaitan is saying, come on now, you have to do something else. No. You will sacrifice that comfort for the sake of getting knowledge. Give me some more examples. Taking formal Islamic education. See what happens, many people, they have a very unstructured approach to Islamic knowledge. Listen to one khutbah here, listen to one dars, khutbah, dars, and that's it. Life is going on. But do you know, in these kind of durus, in khutbahs, there's a limitation. You cannot cover structured ilm of a higher level. You can't go into usul, you can't go into principles. You have to talk waz and nasiha in these kind of lectures normally. So if you want to go to the advanced level of knowledge, you need to go through a structured course. Now people say, no, I didn't get chance to study in a madrasa. Now I'm 40 years. Now I've become 30 years and so on. How will I get knowledge? Alhamdulillah, there are many ways to get knowledge. Many ways to get knowledge. I'll give you some examples. For example, there are so many online Islamic courses available now. You can do one of those structured Islamic courses. Spend some time from your life. Do it very seriously, with serious intention, with hard work. Do it for the sake of Allah. You'll come closer to Allah. When we walk on the path of seeking knowledge, Sahalallahu lahu bihi tariqan ilal jannah. Sahih Muslim hadith, Kitab al-Dhikr. When a person walks on the path of seeking knowledge, Allah will make the path to Jannah easy for him. Isn't it, mashallah? So now, this is one way. Do you know, I'll tell you one very beautiful example. If you go to Makkah, in Darul Hadith, the madrasa called Darul Hadith in Makkah, or if you visit Ma'hadul Haram in Makkah or Medina, Masjidul Haram in Makkah and Masjidul Nabi in Medina, so there's a 10 years Islamic studies course being taught. 10 years Islamic studies course, which is in 3 levels, 4 years plus 3 years plus 3 years. Now this course, you will find over there somebody who's 10 years, 15 years, and somebody who's 50 years, 60 years, all studying together. Only you won't get a stipend for studying that course, and you need to be on your own visa. So, but this is a structured Islamic studies course under the senior most scholars of the times, but you can get something like this also, inshallah. There are possibilities, so many scholars who are teaching on Skype and who have different online classes available. You can study under them certain books. They can even give you certification on that book after that. So these are structured courses, alhamdulillah. So what happens? La yustata'ul ilm bi rahatil jism. Knowledge is not acquired with comfort of the body. Okay, my brothers? We should be ready to sacrifice some comfort for the sake of ilm. And I'll give you one very inspiring story from the times of the Sahaba. This story has been recorded by Imam Darimi in the introduction of his book, and with a chain of narration which is authentic. This story is about, it's an authentic story, it's a real life story about Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. And Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he is the scholar from among the Sahaba. He's the number one Sahabi in tafsir. He is known as Tarjumanul Quran. The Prophet ﷺ gave him that title. He is among the top 5 narrators of hadith. But do you know his very inspiring story? Imam Darimi has collected this narration. Do you know, Abdullah ibn Abbas, when the Prophet ﷺ expired, when he left from this world, Abdullah ibn Abbas was not even 18 years. He was a teenager, 18 years. Now he says that at that time, after the death of the Prophet ﷺ, he said to another Ansari Sahabi, he said, oh so and so, all these big Sahaba, elder Sahaba, they're living today. Let us go to them and let us learn from them. See, Abdullah ibn Abbas had vision. He knew that he is a Sahabi, but Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, almost 60 years of age, he is also a Sahabi. And 60 years, the Sahabi who's 60 years and the Sahabi who's not even 18 years, obviously the elder Sahaba, they're going to die. And that's not far away. So he said to his friend, a companion from among the Ansar, he said, come, let's go and learn from them. Let's go and learn from them. Now, that Ansari Sahabi said, Abdullah, do you think with such great Sahaba being there will be any need of us? Such big Sahaba are there. What do you think we are needed for? They're there. Abdullah ibn Abbas did not find too much inspiration there. So he says that I left that Sahabi and I started to go to every single Sahabi who had certain knowledge, and I would reach his house in the afternoon when he would be doing Qailullah, the sleep in the afternoon. When he would be sleeping in the afternoon, that time I would go to his house and sit down outside his house. I would spread my sheet and sit down on my sheet and wait for him to come out. And when he would come out for Asr Salah, he says that Sahabi would tell me, Abdullah, why have you come here? You should have called me, I would have come to you. Why would they say this? Why would they say this to Abdullah ibn Abbas? That you should have called me, I would have come to you. No.
Out of respect.
What respect? He is a youngster. Yes, he was the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. He could have used that pehchan, rishta. He could have used it and could have said, you come here and teach me. You also come here and teach me. So when they would say this, Abdullah ibn Abbas would say, I am more deserving that I should come. I am more deserving that I should come. And Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he says that I started going to every single Sahabi. I would go outside their house, sit on my sheet, and he says the desert wind would blow on my face and I would wait for them to come out, and when they come out, that time I would meet them and ask them. Before we go ahead, what do you learn from this so far? What do we learn from this so far? Struggle. We see struggle. What else do we see? You need to put efforts to get knowledge. Very true. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he had a dua from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had given him a very beautiful dua. Allahumma faqihu fi din wa allimhu ta'wil. Recorded in Sahih Bukhari. Oh Allah, give him understanding of religion. Teach him the tafsir of the Quran, the commentary of the Quran. Teach him this. So we see that Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he had this beautiful dua from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He did not sit back, my work is done, I got the dua. No, we find he's so concerned and he's working. What else do we find? What else do we learn so far? What happened after that, I'm going to tell you. But what else do we learn? Sorry? Commitment. You can see the commitment of the person. It's not just soda water kind of a thing. Today I've gone, now gone. It's consistency. We can see his consistency in the cause. What else do we see? Source. You need to explain that. He's trying to go to the senior sources, the higher sources, and get knowledge from there, and from multiple sources, he's trying to get from them. Yeah, what else do we learn? He left that friend. Yeah, very true. Youngsters, they need someone to go along with them. You will find many youngsters in the dars. Like for example, brother, what's your name? Abdul Hamid, and what's your name? Are you both together? See, when many youngsters, you will find youngsters come in pairs. And somebody is very dedicated, he'll come alone. Otherwise, youngsters, Abdullah ibn Abbas also wanted company. He wanted company, he said, you also come. Youngsters, they like, somebody should be with them. And if he's not getting inspired, so what do? You also don't go. No. If a person is very dedicated, he'll say, no problem, I'll go. Even if my friend is not coming, I will go. Like Abdullah ibn Abbas. So we see this also, that his commitment, he left the friend, no problem, but he didn't leave his good idea which Allah had put in his heart. What else do we learn?
He was not concerned about his family lineage and
yes.
down to earth person.
very down to earth, humility we learn. He did not try to take advantage of his family lineage. I'm from the family of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. No high-handed approach. Very humble. Huh? Okay, can you tell me, do we learn from this story that you should come early in the class? Huh? Where do you learn this? Where is it mentioned? He used to come early, he used to spread a sheet, and he would wait for his teacher to come out. Do you know that when you come early and you wait for the class to start, a feeling of yearning is created in the heart. And that feeling is very good for learning. You will find many places where there are durus, the scholars and the teachers are coming and waiting, when will students come? It's the other way around. But Abdullah ibn Abbas used to go early and he used to wait for his teacher. Huh? We learned this also. So these are some things. Now what happened? Abdullah ibn Abbas says that I learned from the Sahaba, the elder Sahaba, until a time came when the elder Sahaba, they started dying, one after the other. No one has lived forever. They also didn't live forever. So they started dying. Those who were already 60 years and so, 50 years, 60 years, they died. And he says that a time came that I was left and that Ansari Sahabi was also left. And at that time, people started coming to Abdullah ibn Abbas to learn, because he was a scholar then. And at that time, that Ansari Sahabi said, he was more sensible than me. That time he realized that he lost that opportunity, which Abdullah ibn Abbas took advantage of. Now my brothers, we see this is the inspiring story of a scholar of Islam, Abdullah ibn Abbas, who though was very young, but he developed to become a scholar of Islam. And we also learn from this, never say and never think that what can I do? What use can I be? Don't think that way. If one of us says, no use, we have big scholars in your city, so many ulama there, such scholars are there, what's the use? What's the use? What do you think will you be of use? There are so many scholars, na? Yes, brother, what's your name? Once again? Abdul Hamid, what do you think? There are scholars now, what's your use? No, maybe you can become a scholar of the times to come. Maybe you will be one of the inheritors of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Warathatul Anbiya. The scholars are the Warathatul Anbiya. It's possible. Why do you think small? Don't think small. Don't think that I am of no use, I can't do anything. This is for scholars. No, anyone can become a scholar. Sheikh Albani, a watch repairer, he is becoming a scholar. You look at the famous Iqbal Kilani, who's written the famous book, a series of books. He did not get a chance to study in any madrasa. You look at so many other examples of so many great speakers who never had chance to get some structured Islamic knowledge in any madrasa, but yet they developed to become Islamic speakers and scholars. Alhamdulillah. So these are 2 points. First point is intention. Second point, effort. Only good intention is not enough. So maybe someone came to know 15 years back that talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli Muslim. How many years back did you come to know? Irfan bhai? 15 years? Okay. Anyone else? Any other answer? Somebody may have come to know 2 days back. Somebody must have come to know 6 months back. Yes, how much time back did you get to know? 5 years? 10 years? Seeking knowledge is compulsory right from childhood? Okay. 2 years. Huh? Somebody, 10 years have gone by. 20 years have gone by. 30 years have gone by. You know, people, they know seeking knowledge is compulsory, but they don't do anything. So only knowing it's compulsory and having good intentions is not enough. We have to do something, okay, inshallah. So brothers, this is very important and this is for our own good. If you seek knowledge, you will benefit. Huh? Your neighbor will also benefit, inshallah. Your family will also benefit, but the main benefit is yours. It's for our own self. Okay, so this is point number 2. Point number 3. Now these 10 points which I am going to share with you, these are in couples. 1 and 2 are connected, 3 and 4 are connected, 5 and 6 are connected, 7 and 8 are connected, 9 and 10 are connected. So that way it is easier to learn. So point number 3 is caution in seeking knowledge. Caution in seeking knowledge. Now I'll give you an example. See, we have this water over here. This is packaged water. You can see it's sealed. Why? Why? Prevent adulteration. It's pure. You have water at home. Which water do you have? Filtered? Now, water is water. There are different types of water. Sea water is also there. Kuwait is on the seashore. There's water in gutters and that's also water. But we want pure water. Why we want pure water? Healthy, to maintain, take care of our health. Now, do you know, my brothers, several people, they have been saved from the big pit where they say we are better off being ignorant. We are not talking about them today. We come ahead. The first big pit we saw today, 10 pitfalls. The first pitfall we see if the intention goes wrong. Second pitfall, no effort. Then they have fallen in that pit of not doing anything at all. But there are people who maybe they have good intention. Maybe they put in efforts. But they fall into a third pit. And which is this third pit? Is that they are not cautious in seeking knowledge. You give them anything and everything in the name of knowledge. It sounds knowledge, so they take it. So the example is, now water, you can see that these people have provided for this water for us. Why? So that there's pure water. So my brothers and sisters, what do we learn from this? We learn from this, we have to have caution in seeking knowledge. Now my brothers, we find, if we look at the science of hadith, we find among the hadith, there are sahih hadith, authentic. How does a hadith become sahih? Scholars have explained, there are books on the science. There are 5 basic conditions. But the conditions are very, very rigorous. That's not our topic today. But for a hadith to become sahih, it has to go through very good checking and testing. Then only it reaches the level of sahih or hasan. Then there's zoif, weak. Then there's fabricated, mawzu. Now fabricated hadith, the Prophet ﷺ taught us, Man kataba alayya muta'ammidan falyatabawwa maqadahu minan nar. Recorded in Sahih Bukhari, whoever attributes a lie in my name, he makes for himself a seat in the fire of hell. So if you tell a lie in the name of the Prophet ﷺ, if you fabricate a hadith in the name of the Prophet ﷺ, what do you get? You get a place in the fire of hell. So definitely it's not acceptable to follow a hadith which is fabricated. Now what do we do about a hadith which is weak? Weak meaning it's not confirmed, yes, it's not confirmed, no. It's doubtful. It's doubtful. Did the Prophet ﷺ say this? It's not confirmed. It's doubtful. What do we do? Allah will tell us what to do. It's mentioned in the Quran in Surah Al-Isra, Surah 17, verse 36. Allah says, وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Do not follow that of which you have no knowledge. And it's mentioned in the Quran about the Jews and the Christians, مَا لَهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ عِلْمٍ إِلَّا اتِّبَاعَ الظَّنِّ. They don't have any confirmed knowledge. They only follow assumptions, conjecture, assumptions. We don't follow assumptions. We follow confirmed. We follow that which is sure. Allah says, وَلَا تَقْفُ. Don't follow that of which you have no knowledge. مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Now Zaif hadith is doubtful. We are not sure whether Prophet ﷺ said it or no. What should we do? Allah says, don't follow. Sunan Tirmidhi Sahih hadith, Prophet ﷺ said, دَعْ مَا يُرِيبُكْ إِلَى مَا لَا يُرِيبُكْ. Leave that in which there is doubt for that in which there is no doubt. So doubtful things, what we should do? We should leave it. Now my brothers, there are certain writers, certain speakers, certain teachers who will give you everything mixed. Sahih, Zaif, Mawzu, everything is mixed. They don't have the methodology of segregating authentic from inauthentic. Everything will be mixed. Now if you are seeking knowledge from there, so you will also get mixed up knowledge. You won't get authentic. You will be mixed up yourself. Then what will come out from your mouth also will be mixed up. You will be a mixed up person. So there are books where people, they don't segregate. They are not cautious about it. So now we have to be cautious about where we are taking knowledge from. For example, there are certain scholars who say that to reach Allah, you need someone in between. Even though Allah has mentioned in the Quran in Surah Qaf, Surah 50 verse 16, I'm closer to you than your jugular vein. There are people who say there are 2 types of bid'ah. Good bid'ah and bad bid'ah. Even though our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, Kullu bid'atin dolala. All bid'ahs are deviation. Now if some scholar has this methodology, he says there are 2 types of bid'ah. He says hadith is hadith, sahih, zaif, mawzu, it's a hadith or no? It's a hadith or no? Yes, it's a hadith, yes. But it's not a sahih hadith, it's not authentic, it's not proven to be from the Prophet ﷺ. And do you know the muhaddiseen had these principles which have been taken from the Quran and the Sunnah. They were not like, I like this hadith, this is sahih. And I don't like this hadith, this is zaif. Do you think it's that way that they judged the books of hadith? No. So it's a science, it's fully authentic. So now what do we find? What do we have to do? We have to get from authentic sources. We have to be cautious about it. You can't just say, I have jazba. I take this first book and I start reading. Now everything is going inside me. We have to be cautious. In what we are cautious? If you want to buy gold, you will say that this is having this particular standard, which is a gold standard. What is authenticity? What's the purity? You won't say, it's shining, it's just gold. This is shining. What method is this? So we are cautious in our worldly matters. When you go into a supermarket, you check the expiry date, that is this expired. I know one brother who's sitting here, very cautious about every single packet he'll see properly, expired or not. Now why can't we be cautious about our religion? So we see that this is very important, my brothers, very important, otherwise you will be a mixed up person. So even though you were safe from that big one pit, and you may be having good intention and you are putting in effort, yet you fall into the third pit. So this is the third pit. Fourth pit. There are people who may have been saved from the first pit, they have maybe good intention. Second pit, I said you have to be with me, so then you'll remember. Second is effort. Maybe they put in effort. Third, caution in acquiring knowledge. But they have a fourth problem, is passing on knowledge and caution in passing on knowledge. So many people, they don't pass on knowledge. Now I want to narrate before you a very beautiful hadith of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's recorded in Sunan Tirmidhi with authentic chain of narration. Our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Naddarallahu imran." May Allah keep that person hale and hearty. Naddara. Arabic word naddara. It means may Allah keep him good. In Urdu we say hashash bashash rakhe, taro taza rakhe. May Allah keep him hale and hearty. May Allah keep him in a good condition. Meaning in this world, in the akhirah. Allah, may Allah keep him hale and hearty, good in his health, good in his mental condition, good in his financial condition. But children don't, please, all children concentrate. So may Allah keep him hale and hearty. Naddarallahu imran. Who sami'a minna hadithan, who hears the saying of mine. First, now listen to this, three things. Sami'a, first is, hears the saying of mine. Fahafizahu, memorizes it. Hatta yuballighahu ghayrahu, until he passes it on to someone else. First step is listens. Second step is memorizes it. Third step is passing it on. Now you can see that the Prophet ﷺ has connected seeking knowledge with passing on knowledge. Seeking knowledge has been connected with passing on knowledge. We find the famous hadith of Sahih Bukhari, where our Prophet ﷺ said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Pass it on from me, even if it is one verse. You know one thing, pass it on. You know one thing, pass it on. You know two, pass it on. We find there are several modern studies which give us some information which shows how things happen. See, there's one study which tried various methods with different batches of students. Some students, they gave some material to read. Said, what you read? So they found that the retention was 10%. They read, and when it was checked what you read, so they retained 10%. Some students, they made them listen to an audio. Retention was something like 10-15%. Some, they showed a video. What was the retention? But finally, among many methods, when they told the student, did you read this? Now you come here and explain what you read. You read it, na? You come and explain what you read. You come and tell what you read. After the student would tell what he read, he would retain minimum 90%. Now what do we find? When we pass on knowledge, the biggest person who's benefiting from it is you yourself. Because your level of retention will increase. Alhamdulillah. So we can see the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned this, Hatta yuballighahu ghayrahu, until you pass it on to someone else. So my dear brothers, when you learn something, this is from Allah Ta'ala. And this is a favor and blessing from Allah Ta'ala. We should be eager to pass it on. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the person man su'ila an ilmin, whoever is asked about a knowledge, fakatamahu, and he hides it. Al-jamahullahu bil-lijami min narin yawm al-qiyamah. He will be tied with a girdle of fire on the day of judgment. So what will happen if we hide knowledge? So we will be tied because of that on the day of judgment with a girdle of fire. So my dear brothers and sisters, very important is passing on knowledge. What was the first point? Intention. Number 2, action. Only intention is not enough. Only action is not enough. Intention and action both. Third point, caution in acquiring knowledge. And number 4 is passing on knowledge and caution in passing on knowledge. Don't keep it with you only. Now today you're learning something, go back home and tell someone. You can tell your wife, you can tell someone. And look at the words of the hadith. It says, Hatta yuballighahu ghayrahu, until you tell someone else. The age is also not specified. Until you tell someone above 18 years. It's not given. You find a small child, beta yahamada, I'm going to tell you now 2 things. Hatta yuballighahu ghayrahu, you pass it on to someone else. So you're qualified for Naqdarullahu Umran. May Allah keep him hale and hearty. The 4 points we've finished. 5th point. Now some people, they may have good intentions. They also may be having action. They may be cautious in acquiring knowledge. They may also be passing on knowledge and caution in passing on knowledge. But they fall into a 5th pit. A 5th pit. And what is the 5th pit? Is that they don't have priority in seeking knowledge. Priority. There's a rule, al-aham fal-muhim. The most important, and then next, and then next, and then next, according to importance. So you will find so many people that when the jazba to seek knowledge comes in, so they take first available book out of the shelf. I'm reading this book. What are you doing? I'm researching on this issue. So we have to know what is the most important, and then next, what's next. So now here we need to know that what is the most important subject in seeking knowledge. What is the most important subject? Which is that? Okay, reading the Quran. Okay, try more. Let's talk about the topic. The Quran is a source. Of course, the Quran has to be part of our life. That's no doubt about it, because it increases our iman. It gives us istiqamah, steadfastness. Okay. So first is, what is the most important subject? Tawheed, because our kalima is La ilaha illallah. There is none worthy of worship except Allah. Which is the biggest sin? Shirk, joining partners with Allah. Inna Allaha la yaghfiru an yushraka bih. Allah will not forgive that you join partners with Him. Surah Nisa, Surah 4, 48. So we find the biggest sin is the sin of shirk. Now what happens? If a person gets a lot of other things, but he doesn't understand what is Tawheed, what are the implications, what is required. If you don't get the correct belief and aqidah and methodology, manhaj, if you don't understand the basic principles, the basic things in religion, so what will happen is, you are learning other subjects. Like for example, some people, they take one advanced masala where there is a difference in the schools of thoughts. And then they say that in this masla, they have this, and they are into that arguing mode. Rather, what they should have first learnt is aqidah and manhaj, methodology. Everything else is later. First, we have to go al-aham fal-muhim. And here we see a very beautiful statement of Imam Ibn al-Jawzi in his book Talbisul Iblis, the Deceptions of Shaitaan. And there's a section on the deception of the writers and the people of adab, literature. He says, very beautiful statement. He said, "Walau ittasal umr li marifatil kull kana hasan." If life was so big that you could get every knowledge, it was good. "Walakin al umra qalil," but life is small. "Fayambaghi itharul aham wal afzal." That is the reason we have to prioritize and give importance to what is more important and what is more having greater virtue. Al aham wal afzal. He says life is not so big that you can just go on learning everything. Because if it was thousands and thousands and crores of years you're going to live, so no problem. But when life is small, so let's give priority to what is more important. So now for example, Aqidah, this is most important. Now when we come to Ibadah, we find we are offering Salah 5 times a day. If you know several things, you learned things from, like so many people, they get the Jazba for ilm. So they go into the Bible and they are reading the Bible. I'm now reading the Vedas. Do you know the method of Salah? First, do you know the issues of Tahara? Because what is violating your wuzu? And when is salah valid and when is salah not valid? What are the conditions for salah? What are the arkan? What are the conditions? Do you know? We should know this. So we should know all of this. Okay, you are a doctor, so you should know issues related to medicine. You are a businessman, you should know issues related to business. Imam Umar Radhiyallahu used to say, it's a hadith recorded in Sunan Tirmidhi with authentic chain of narration. He used to say, "La yabi fi suqina illa man qad tafaqaha fi din." In our market, the market at that time, you will not get permission to trade. No one will get permission to trade except those who have understanding of religion. You need to know the rules of business to be able to do business. People don't know. What are the rules of business? What are the rules of business? We should know. So now, my brothers, what you are, you're a student, you're studying. Which career you've taken? I'm not talking gender. I'm talking generally. Huh? You'll say, oh, he's after me. So we'll see that if you're a student, you know so many students, they say, I'm trying to become so and so. Why don't you first check up after you become a lawyer, a doctor, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, what are the issues you're going to face? How much will be the scope of halal and how much will be the scope of haram? So many people, they go down their careers and then they realize I took the wrong career, Islamically. So what happens is, seek knowledge. Seek knowledge to what is important for you individually. You're an IT person, you should know that when you're working in a company, you're working in an IT setup. Now what are the Islamic rulings? Do you know there are fatwa websites with lakhs of questions, answers already available. Whatever question you have, someone has already asked mostly before you. And you'll get ready-made answers. So Alhamdulillah, there are so many resources available for us weak Muslims of today. There's so many resources available, Alhamdulillah. So we find that this is the point number 5. First point was intention. Second point is action. Third point is caution in seeking knowledge. And number 4 is passing on and caution in passing on. Now I forgot to explain the part about caution in passing on. So so many people have a lot of jazbah for pass on. They hear one thing, they pass on 10 things. So the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ballighu anni," pass it on from me. Walau ayah, even if it is one verse. He did not say pass it on from yourself, just pass on something, you pass on at least. He did not say that. He said pass it on from me. And same hadith. Sahih Bukhari, Kitabul Hadith Al-Anbiya, Volume 4, Hadith number 667. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said in that same hadith ahead, if you lie in my name, Man kadaba alayya muta'ammidan falyatabawwa maqadahu minan nar. You get for yourself a seat in the fire of hell. And do you know who says this? Lying in the name of the Prophet ﷺ. Who does this? Do you know? Thieves. Thieves. They lie in the name of the Prophet. Cheats. Frauds. Robbers. Dacoits. Who lies in the name of the Prophet ﷺ? Dacoits do this sin. The dakus, the dacoits, they do this sin. The frauds, they do this sin. Who does this? People who want to pass on, but they are not cautious. They create hadiths on their own. And they don't realize they are making for themselves a seat in the fire of hell. Allahu Musta'an, my brothers, so important. And do you know there's one hadith in Abu Dawud with authentic chain of narration? The Prophet ﷺ said, Man uftiya bi ghayri ilmin kana ithmuhu ala man aftahu. Whoever gives fatwa on an issue without knowledge, the sin of that is on the person who gave the fatwa. So someone says, see, you've gone in the dars and you sat in the front. So you tell me, this is halal or haram. So now if you don't know, suppose. You say, do. Because you don't like to tell that I don't know this answer. So suppose you say, it's halal. So if it is wrong, then that sin will be on the person who, kana ismuhu ala man aftahu, is on the one who gave that fatwa. Now we carry our sins on the day of judgment, or we carry the sins of other people. That this sin, Allah, I didn't do this sin. No, you told him that this is allowed. Now this is on you. He did that sin and it will be on you. Allahu Akbar. So better to keep quiet, no? Ibn Masud, he said something so beautiful. It's recorded in Sahih Bukhari in Kitab al-Tafsir. He said, Man alima falyaqul. The one who knows should speak. Waman lam ya'lam falyaqul Allahu a'lam. And the one who doesn't know, he should say Allah knows. Fa'inna min al-ilmi, he says it is from knowledge. An yaqula lima la ya'lamu la a'lamu. That the one who doesn't know, he says I don't know. It is part of knowledge that the one who doesn't know, he says I don't know. You got the point? Who will answer? How is it knowledge that you don't know? I don't know is knowledge. Ibn Masud is saying that the one who doesn't know, he says I don't know. He says this is knowledge. So you don't know, no? Then how you know this? No. What is this? Who can answer? He's truthful. So how is his knowledge but? He doesn't know, na? So how does he know? Ibn Masud says, Inna min al-ilm. This is from knowledge. You say, I don't know. I don't know. This is knowledge, he says. How is this knowledge? This is okay, caution, mashallah. Huh? Huh?
References.
Yes, okay. Mashallah, okay. At least he's not passing on wrong. Yeah?
He don't know that, but he will know because somebody asked him and he said,
Mashallah. Very good, mashallah. Everyone has some good thing to tell. Yeah, you're saying something?
He is knowledgeable that if I say this, he will be in trouble.
Yeah. So he's having that knowledge. Okay?
If he knows that he doesn't know, then he'll go on to get that information.
If he doesn't know, he knows that he doesn't know. At least he knows this that he doesn't know. At least he knows this that he doesn't know. So many people don't know and they don't know that they don't know. So many people, they don't know and they don't know that they don't know. So at least you know that you don't know. So that is ilm. At least you know that you don't know. So there's a simple jahil and there's a compound jahil. Huh? So there's simple jahil. At least you're a simple jahil. You know that you don't know. So my brothers, if you don't know, what will you say? I don't know. This is ilm. This is ilm. It's not humiliation. This is alhamdulillah following the sharia. Okay? So we have learned how many points? This was 4 and after this we learned the 5th point. 5th point was what? Priorities. Al-aham fal-muhim. Most important, then lesser, then lesser, then lesser, then lesser. In order of importance. Okay? Now, 6th point. As I said, these are couples. 6th point is going ahead in stages. Stages. Now what? Stages, it is called tadarruj. Darja badarja. Going ahead in stages. See, Quran was revealed how? The full Quran was revealed how? One shot the book came down from Allah. How did it come down? Gradually. A child is born and he starts running. Is that so? No. He will start gradually, he will become stronger, he'll start crawling, then on his knees, then like a horse and so on, until he walks and falls and then gets up and then one day he'll run. This is how plant grows. How does a plant grow? It goes gradually. Now you like, what do you like? Biryani. Now if you get good biryani, so how you'll eat? One morsel at a time. But do you know how people, when they get jazba now? So when I've seen this happening with so many people, you also must have seen. When they get jazba for ilm, I've got the jazba. So now which book you're taking to read? First book they're taking Bukhari. Bukhari in so many volumes. You start reading from the beginning. Few pages down the line, it's not getting over. So it's gone and the jazba is also gone down. So the scholars say you start with small book. Okay? Start with something small, then go to little bigger, then go to little bigger, then go to little bigger, step by step. And there will come a time when you read Sahih Bukhari also directly, no problem. So they have made various books, small books. For example, in Aqidah, we have Qawaidul Arba, very beautiful course made by Imam Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, who brought the beautiful change and the realization among people about Tawheed. So what he did, he used a very beautiful style. Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, he formed this book Qawaidul Arba, which is 108 pages. You do finish Qawaidul Arba, go on to Usul Salasa, little bigger. Finish Usul Salasa, you go on to Kitab al-Tawheed, then Kashfu Shubuhat. Gradual stages. So we have, if you look at Hadith, you have Arba'in an-Nawawi, 40 hadiths selected by Imam Nawawi. Start with something small. For our times, we can start with a pamphlet. I read the pamphlet, then we go on to the bigger ones. But go step by step. This is how it becomes firm. As Allah says in the Quran in Surah 25 verse 33, why they ask that why is the Quran sent down like this gradually? So Allah says, وَكَذَلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُعَادَكَ. This is so that your heart becomes firm. Heart becomes firm. So my brothers, you know the ilm which is acquired, hadith at a time, one hadith, you listen. So that is lasting also more. It lasts out also more. If you get ilm one morning to night, everything you've got and then you don't follow it up, so it goes also away faster. What comes fast, it goes also fast. So very important is gradual, steadfast, stages after stages. Now this is point number 6. Now tell me, point number 5 and 6, they look similar. What's the difference? Who can tell? Point number 5 was according to importance. Point number 6 is stages after stages. What's the difference? They look similar. Okay, very good. See, this was the first thing was about priority. Which topic is most important? Okay. The second one was about going ahead in stages. See, my brothers, we are human beings. And خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, Allah says in the Quran, Surah 4, 28. Man have created weak. So now what we need, when you take something small and you accomplish it, you get a sense of accomplishment. I finished this. Then now you're ready for a little bit more. You finish it, I finish this also. Alhamdulillah. More and more. Then you can go for bigger and bigger targets, inshallah. But if the first day itself you take a very big target and then you fail, then the whole jazba for ilm goes down. So we have this is the 6th point. Okay? Let's revise before we go ahead to the 7th. First was intention. Second is action. Third is caution in acquiring knowledge. Don't take from anywhere. Be cautious. You can see we are cautious. Number 4 is passing on and caution in passing on knowledge. Number 5 is priorities. Number 6 is stages after stages. Now several people have all of these 6 things. They may be not falling in those pits. They fall into a 7th pit. You will find so many people in this pit. So many people in this pit. You know what's the story like? I'll tell you the story. They say that, see, when I was young man in college, I used to go for Islamic lectures. When I was at that stage in life, I used to go for dars, I used to go for courses, I used to read book, I used to read this, I used to do this, I used to listen to audios, I used to see videos. Then what happened? You know what Shaitaan says, very good, you now know everything. So there are so many people, they have a 7th problem, is that they don't have talabu ziyada. Talabu ziyada. The desire for more. You should have this. I want more, I want more, I want more. Achha, greed is good or bad? Greed. Normally greed for money is bad. Greed for the world is bad. But greed for knowledge. I want more. I want more. Is this good or bad? Good. Greed for knowledge is good. Who says good?
Yes, all of us.
Very good, mashallah. This is the right answer. Greed for knowledge is good. Here's. Do you know there's a proof for this? First you all tell me one proof, then I'll tell you one proof. You tell me one easy proof which I have mentioned in this lecture. Which? MashaAllah, very good. You'll get this bottle of water. Please pass it on to him from my side. It's just a sign of love. Rabbi Zidni Ilma. Oh my Lord, increase me in knowledge. What is this? This is proof that we should have talabu ziyada. Talabu ziyada. I want more knowledge, I want more. Okay, how is it being greedy for knowledge? I want to just, as soon as some brothers, the lectures got over, they just hang back and they try to get what else I'm getting, just get more. So, we have one hadith where Abu Hurairah radhiyallahu anhu asked a question to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Abu Hurairah, I knew you will be the first person to ask this question because of the hirsikal hadith. Because of the hirs you have for hadith. Hirs is greed. Hirs is greed. So, greed for ilm is good. Normal greed for money and worldly things is bad, but greed for good deeds is good. And greed for knowledge is good. Alhamdulillah. So brothers, you should not fall into the thing that Shaitaan says, you know all this. Shaitaan comes and tells you, you know all this, come on now. Now stop going into this lecture, every week you're going. What is this? Every week you're going for I'm seeing you for, after third, fourth time I'm seeing you in this tour. So, said, you know now, all this you know, bas. So Shaitaan is very keen to take you away from ilm. Why? First verse Allah revealed was Iqra. Why? Because the best way to defeat Shaitaan is by getting knowledge. Best way. So Shaitaan is very eager to take us away from ilm. So what is it? What do we find? That we should have greed for more and more and more and more. Talabu ziyada. Okay, inshallah? Until what age? What's your age now, brother? 28. Until 30? Until 30 you'll have greed for ilm. Young man, 30 is good, no? More? 32? Tell fast. Until death. Until death. Until death. Yes. Because the hadith is Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilman sahalallahu lahu bihi tariqan ila al-jannah. Whoever walks on the path of seeking knowledge, Allah will make the path to Jannah easy for him. So you want the path to Jannah to be easy for until 30 years? 35 years tak easy, then after that I want tough. Huh? Okay, who wants it easy? The path to Jannah? Okay, you want it easy. Who else? Okay, what do you all want? Whoever wants the path to Jannah to be easy, yes, raise your hand, let me see. Okay. Is there anyone here who says, let it be difficult? Don't say that. Don't say that. We want it to be easy, always. Okay, how frequently? Once a month you want it easy? Some people, they go once a month in a monthly lecture. Some people, they are very regular weekly lecture, once a week. So you want it once a year. Some people are good in once a year, there's a big conference. Some I'm listening about something in the desert and everything are very regular in these kind of camps. So once a year you want it easy, once a month or once a week? Every day. So every day you have to do what? Do what? Seek knowledge every day or weekends. You want the path to Jannah to be easy? Once a week. Then you do it once a week. Daily. Brothers, tell yourself this. I'm telling you now, just tell yourself this. Don't let one day of your life pass without learning something about Allah's name. Don't let even one day go without learning something about Allah's name. Every day before sleeping, ask, did I learn something today or no? And if you read Quran translation daily, at least something will come in you. And if you listen to something, read some book of hadith, something little bit, you can get every day little. Yes or no? Yes. Not even one day, because we want the Jannah, path to Jannah to be easy. So we have finished how many points? 7. 8th. So many people may be having 7 good things, but they fall into the 8th pit. And what is their pit? You know? They keep learning and they keep forgetting. They fill water from here and they have a hole open and it's emptying out from here. Retention. They have a problem of retention of ilm. They keep getting and they're leaving. They're not cautious. So you know what? If now, instead of me, there was someone over here who was to tell you that there is a treasure in Kuwait, a big treasure, and I'm going to tell you where you can get it, a very precious treasure, what you'll do? You're getting the chance to sit and listen to the secret of where that treasure of Kuwait is. Big treasure you can get. You can become maybe richer than Bill Gates. What you'll do? What's the first thing you'll do? Listen. Okay. And what else? You'll take a pen and paper, no? Yes or no? The Prophet ﷺ said, Qayyidul ilm bil kitab. Imprison ilm. Imprison. Qayd karo. Qayyidul ilm bil kitab. By writing it down. Imprison ilm by writing it down. So now, because it's precious, it's much more precious than the treasure of Kuwait. This is the treasure of the Akhirah. So my brothers, today we have so many methods of imprisoning ilm. So many methods. Can you tell me some other method other than writing it down? Recording is also writing down data. Write to disk. Bil kitab. Even that is writing actually, in a way, with a different kind of a pen. You can do audio recording. And do you know, you sometimes get ready-made qaid ilm. Like after this lecture, I have notes, ready-made notes, which you can take from me. Of at least the summary of the points. Ready-made qaid kiya hua ilm. Imprisoned knowledge. But now you know my brothers, the point here is what? Point number 8 is retention, preservation of ilm. It's precious now. It should not go away. If it's useless, let it go away. If it's precious, don't let it go away. So whenever you sit in a dars, my brothers, carry a book with you. Become a student of knowledge. Now, until when will you be a sufficient person? Do you know? There are 2 types of persons. People. People who are not yet fully into it. And they are coming to get some kind of jazba. Good. Alhamdulillah. Good. But if you become a student of knowledge, then you have to get the habit that I don't want to lose this. This is a nice point. This is a beautiful hadith. I'll write it down. Because what happens, even if I give you notes, I won't give you explanation in the notes, in those notes. No? It will be summary. So what happens, my brothers? Make it a habit to carry a notebook. If you are a student of knowledge. If you are not a student of knowledge, it will take time. Then this is the 8th pit. You keep learning and keep forgetting until you get really charged up one day. Then you preserve. Okay, can't help it. But you see yourself where you can put yourself. Because this is precious ilm. This is beautiful. This is for our akhirah. Do you know? يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ Surah Mujadila, Surah 58, ayat number 11. Allah says, Allah will raise high the people of knowledge. Sorry. يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ Believers among you will be raised high in the akhirah. وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ The people of knowledge, they will be on heights, darajat. And you know the people of Jahannam, asfal, are down, asfala safilin. But the people of Iman, they are yarfa'illahu alladhina amanu. And the most highest positions are walladhina utul ilma darajat. So my brothers and sisters, why don't you want that high position? Do you know in this dunya, if you were richer than the king of Brunei, if you were richer than Bill Gates, will you like it or no? Will you think it's good or no? You know, people like it. Okay? We are talking about the real kings of the akhirah, the real rich men of akhirah, darjat, the high status. That is there to get it. You can get it now with ilm. And do you know there's a beautiful hadith? The Prophet ﷺ said, يُقَالُ لِصَاحِبِ الْقُرْآنِ إِذَا دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ The person of the Quran, when he goes to Jannah, he will be told, listen to this, he will be told, Iqra was'ad, read and go up. You read and go up. He is the Sahibul Quran, he is the person of the Quran, person who believed in the Quran, he acted on the Quran, he lived on the Quran. After going to Jannah, he will be told, Iqra was'ad, read and go up. Likulli ayatin daraja. For every ayah you will go one stage higher. You heard this? For every ayah, you go one level higher. Likulli ayatin daraja. For every ayah you will go one level higher. فَيَقْرَأُ وَيَسْعَدُ He will go on reading and climbing up. حَتَّى يَقْرَأَ آخِرُ شَيْمَّهِ Until he reads the last thing with him. So my brothers, that thing of memorizing knowledge. We read one hadith about memorizing knowledge. Who can tell? The second bottle of water for you. Who can tell that hadith about memorizing knowledge? I had told one hadith. No, I had told. That's a good hadith, mashallah. You can get half the bottle. This one is there. But there's a thing about memorizing knowledge, a hadith which I mentioned today, from Tirmidhi. Who can tell? 3 things are there. See, now only it's lost. After 1 year, what you'll remember? It will be like, haan, kuch tha, acha tha. What was there? Okay? What is that hadith? 3 things. When I mentioned this hadith now, I thought I'll make the children repeat it because it's easy material. Prophet ﷺ said, Naddarallahu umran. May Allah keep him hale and hearty. Who? Samia, hears a saying of mine. Hafizahu, memorizes it until he passes it on to others. So now memorizing it, preservation of knowledge, very important. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ta'ahadul Quran, revise the Quran, revise the Quran. فَإِنَّهُ أَشَدُّ تَفَسِّيًا مِنَ الْإِبْلِ فِي أُقُلِهَا Because it runs away faster than the camel if it's let free. Do you know how the camel runs? If you leave a camel free, how it goes? It will be standing there. If you leave a camel free, the camel will be standing there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's gone. So you know how when you don't revise the Quran, you launch a verse of the Quran, you don't revise. You say, Mujhe yaad hai, I remember, it's there, it's there, it's there. Oh, one day you can't remember, it's gone. It goes faster than that camel. The camel will still stay and go, this one will go faster than that. Allahu Akbar. So now, 8th point is preservation. Okay, we come into the 9th and 10th point and we'll finish the lecture. What was the first point? Intention. Number 2, action. Number 3, caution in seeking knowledge. 4th is caution in passing on knowledge. Huh? Don't put yourself in trouble. Number 5 is priority, according to priorities. Number 6 is stages, step by step. Number 7 is talabu zyada, more and more and more. Now you're getting more, but also save it. You want to fill more and more water, but save it also. Now preservation. Huh? So point number 8 is preservation. Now we come to the 9th point. The 9th point is that you are seeking knowledge, which was the first verse revealed, Iqra. Now, are you feeling something inside? When you get knowledge, when you seek knowledge, it normally stirs something inside. It should stir something inside. We find a hadith recorded in Sahih Muslim. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ said, he said, in this hadith recorded in Sahih Muslim, he said, "Law ta'lamuna ma a'lamu." If you knew what I know, la dahiktum qaleel wa la bakaytum kathir. You would laugh less and you would cry more. Meaning, if you knew law ta'lamuna, if you knew what I know, you would laugh less and cry more. Meaning, you'll feel something inside. It's mentioned in Surah Fatir, Surah 35. إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ. Indeed, those who fear Allah from the slaves of Allah are the scholars, the people of knowledge. So when a person acquires ilm for the sake of pleasing Allah, that ilm will also give him taqwa. As your ilm increases, your taqwa will increase. Unless if something is wrong. If your taqwa is not increasing, if you're not feeling something inside, something is wrong somewhere. Check the other points, intention, all of this. But what's important is, ilm will bring with it feeling. Ilm is not just empty thing, it brings a feeling in the heart. It creates taqwa. It makes a person fear Allah. Huh? See, you know what? A person who has diabetes, you will find what will happen? You offer him a tea with good blood sugar and all. He said, no. It created, that thing came in him, how it came into him? Due to his ilm, that I have diabetes and that sugar is bad for me. Huh? So we have, that's the point number 9, feeling in the heart. Are you feeling something or no? And the last point, the 10th point for today, and that is amal. Ilm, acting on knowledge. We should act on knowledge. You come to know something, you act on it. Don't just keep it for theoretical. It should be practical. It should be for the sake of acting on knowledge. Every single thing is for acting. Don't make it just a theoretical exercise. It should be always practical, acting on knowledge. My dear brothers and sisters, I will mention 2 hadiths in this regard. One hadith is from Tirmidhi about the 5 questions on the Day of Judgment. The 5 questions on the Day of Judgment. Who can tell the 5 questions and get this? 5 questions. 2 hands up. 1, 2. Someone else? Okay. Since you were the first to raise your hand, yes, tell me. First question. We're talking of the questions in the grave. No. We're not talking about the questions in the grave. We're talking about the questions on the Day of Judgment. Yeah. The first question. Youth, that's the second question, yeah.
Wealth,
where did you spend your wealth?
Knowledge.
No problem, try, no problem. Knowledge you mentioned, okay. Out of 5 you've covered 3. Okay, who can finish the other 2? Huh? Sorry? Where you've finished, 1 more has come, okay, and 1 more is left. He said youth, and you're mentioning time. Okay, let's see the hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said, "La tazulu qadam ibni Adama yawm al-qiyamah min indi Rabbi." On the Day of Judgment, the son of Adam will not be able to even move his leg. Hatta yusalu an khams, until he's not questioned about 5 things. He will be questioned about 5 things. And umri fima afna, about his life, where he spent it. About his life, where he spent it. Wa an shababihi fima abla, about his youth, where he spent his youth. I mean, where you spent your life, what were you doing in your life? Someone will say, I was on Facebook so much time, I was on WhatsApp so much time. If you're doing work, it's a different thing for your halal income. But if you are wasting time and whiling away, you have to answer. I was standing and gossiping in so much time, and I was watching so-and-so XYZ wrong things so much time. We have to answer. Especially we have to answer about youth. Third, وَمَالِهِ مِنْ أَيْنَ اكْتَسَبَهُ, where did you earn your money from? Where you got your money from? وَفِيمَا أَنْفَقَهُ, where you spent it? Where you spent it? And the fifth question is, مَاذَا أَمِلَ فِيمَا عَلِمَ, with the knowledge which you had, how much you acted on it? Whatever knowledge you had, how much you acted on it? So this is a question on the Day of Judgment. So you knew this, how much you acted on? My brothers, do you know? Allah will judge on the Day of Judgment according to situations and circumstances. Someone lived in a far-fetched area, he came to know one thing, he acted on one thing, he'll get away with it. Now you know what many people do? These people, they are saying that all of these people, they're doing wrong things. So many people doing wrong things. But do you know, it is possible that in their situation when they are judged, what will happen with them? Allah knows best. But a person who knows the truth and he yet doesn't act on it, he won't get away with it. He won't be able to give any excuse. I didn't know and I was... No excuse. For others, Allah will judge according to their circumstances. We are talking of someone, we are not going back to the first question where someone says that I'm better off being ignorant, because he's choosing to be ignorant while being in a place where he can learn knowledge. He's deliberately not going for ilm and saying I'm better ignorant. But there's someone who in his circumstances he just could not get ilm. So there's a difference in these two. So now we saw one hadith, and the last hadith of today, and this hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Yuja'u bi-rajuli yawm al-qiyamah, a person will be brought on the Day of Judgment. فَيُلْقَى فِي النَّارِ, he will be thrown in the fire of hell. فَتَنْدَلِكُ أَقْتَابُهُ فِي النَّارِ, his intestines will come out in the fire of hell. Intestines. فَيَدُورُ كَمَا يَدُورُ الْحِمَارِ بِرَهَاهُ, he will start going round and round in the fire of hell as the donkey goes round in the sawmill. Not the sawmill. What do you call chakki? The flour mill. So the donkey going round and round. So this person is going round and round in the fire of hell. His intestines have come outside. He's in the hell and he's going round and round. فَيَجْتَمِعُ أَهْلَ النَّارِ عَلَيْهِ, the people of Jahannam will correct around him and will say, Ay fulan, ma shanuk? وَيَقُولُونَ, they will say, oh so and so, what's the matter? Oh so and so, what's your matter? أَلَيْسَ كُنْتَ تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, you're the person who used to tell us to do good deeds. وَتَنْهَانَا عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ, you used to tell us to avoid bad deeds. You used to tell us to do good deeds. You used to tell us don't do bad deeds. What are you doing over here? I mean, they're saying that we are here because we did bad deeds, we didn't do good deeds. But what are you doing over here? So he'll say, Amrukum bil ma'ruf wa la atihi. I used to tell you to do good deeds, but I used to not do them myself. Wa anhaakum anil munkari wa atihi. I used to tell you don't do bad deeds, but I used to do bad deeds. So now where is he? He's in the fire of hell. He has double punishment. First punishment is, he's in hellfire, his intestines are outside, physical pain and torture. And the second punishment is psychological. People are asking him, what are you doing here? You're the one. And now it's all open. So my brothers, we see that 10th point is action. We remember the inspiring words of Sufyan al-Thawri rahimahullah. Sufyan al-Thawri, he says, knowledge knocks the door of action. If action opens the door, knowledge will stay. If amal doesn't open the door, ilm will go away. If you get ilm, act on it. You come to know one thing, act on it. You came to know even one thing from today, act on it. Whatever you got knowledge, act on it. This is the best way to preserve knowledge. My dear brothers and sisters, these are 10 steps. Let's revise them once again, inshallah. And let's end the subject. What was the first point? Intention. Number 2 is action. Action in the sense of struggle to get knowledge. Effort to get knowledge. Number 3 is caution in getting knowledge. Number 4 is caution in passing on knowledge. Caution in passing on knowledge. Number 5 is priorities. Al-aham fal-muhim. Number 6 is stages, step by step, stages after stages. Inshallah. Number 7 is talabu ziyada, the desire for more and more and more and more. For how many years? Until you die. This is, we are talking of a plan of action until we die. This is not for 2 years, 4 years, 5 years plan. This is lifetime plan. Lifetime student of knowledge. Look at Imam. For example, we have the example of the famous scholar who compiled the book Tarikh al-Baghdad, Khatib Baghdadi. Khatib Baghdadi, when he died, he's written so many books. Only one of his books, Tarikh al-Baghdad, is in 27 volumes. But when he died, they found that he was reading a book and it was there on his chest. He died reading. Alhamdulillah, what a beautiful death. So, point number 7 is Talabu Ziyada. Okay, point number 8, Get more, but save it also, no? You can't keep getting and then losing it. Do you remember what you learned 1 year back? What you learned 1 year back, do you remember? We should remember. We should have it somewhere. It's precious. This is better than the treasure of Kuwait. Huh? This is very precious. This is a treasure of this world. Okay? And the 9th point is, are you feeling something inside? You're getting knowledge. It should not be just, it should be, are you feeling something inside? And point number 10 is action. Point number 10 is amal. Huh? May Allah Rabbul Alameen make us of those who walk on the path of seeking knowledge, who seek it with sincere intentions, who work hard to get it, who get it from authentic sources, who pass it on and fulfill the responsibility of passing on and are cautious with it. May Allah Rabbul Alameen make us of those who act on ilm, and this ilm comes to our help on the day of judgment. Ameen wa akhiru dawana and alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Question is that he's talking about which point? Point number 3. Caution in acquiring knowledge. He says, how do we check what I have is correct or wrong? How do I check? So you need to have the right formula yourself. You need to have the correct methodology yourself. See, you know what? Mistake. Everyone makes mistakes. Good people also make mistakes. But there's something called deviation, where the formula is wrong. And our primary formula is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. So my brother, as sincerity in this, is that you need to know the basic subjects of deen first. And any student of knowledge, not only you, all of us. The first things first, and that is the aqidah and methodology, so that you can distinguish and differentiate authentic from inauthentic. So all these basic subjects, we need to get them first, which are mainly connected to our kalima, basically La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, the pillars of Iman. Our Iman and Aqidah and methodology should be correct. This is to speak in short.
When we see the lecture of the Shaykh, we see the proof of Hadith and the ayah of Quran.
I have a course called Strong Foundation course, in which I have covered all of these major subjects of formula. And I have the notes. And the online version we are trying to bring soon, inshallah. It's mostly there. I can give it to you, inshallah. Those of you who want. Yeah.
You want to improve the knowledge and want to improve what which books from start from where we have to start.
Okay. To improve and increase knowledge, firstly you are reading Quran with authentic tafsir, inshallah. Study book of Aqidah. I strongly suggest that you study a course on Tawheed, a good course on Tawheed. So you can see some available course on this Qawaidul Arba, the 4 basic principles of Tawheed, on Tawheed. And you can also see some courses on Tawheed from Dr. Bilal Phillips Islamic Online University. It's also one good source. There are several available in Urdu. Sheikh Abu Zaid Zamir, some courses are very good with notes. They're available. So you can take something with notes, so that you can memorize, inshallah. And memorize one verse at a time, one, but go on and on, inshallah. Yes. Right. Our brothers ask the question that different scholars give different fatwas. Somebody is saying farz, somebody is saying this is not farz. No, for sure this is either farz or not farz. Either it's farz or it is nafil. It's mustahab, recommended. So now question is, it can't be both at the same time. It can't be 2 plus 2 4 and 2 plus 2 5 at the same time. So you need to understand 2 things, brother. Number 1 is truth. Number 2 is tolerance. Truth and tolerance, TT. Some people, in their concept of tolerance, they go so far that they forget that there's something called truth. And some people in the concept of truth, they go so far that they don't have any tolerance. So we should have, for example, we should have study and research. Okay, I know this, so I'll study further on this. And in that issue, any issue, I'm not going into the details of that question. I'm giving you the methodology. Remember one thing, we are living in a religion of proof. We are following a religion of proof. This is not a religion of assumptions. This is also not a religion of contradiction. So there's something called truth in this religion. What is correct and what is true. So now we need to know in this issue, what is right. So Allah says in Surah 29 verse 69, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا. Those who strive in my way, I guide them to my paths. Whom will Allah guide? If a person is sitting back, I don't understand anything. You won't understand also. If you're just going to sit back and say, I don't understand, you won't understand also. You have to do something to understand. And what you have to do is you have to struggle. So you will ask one scholar, Shaykh, what is your proof? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, you also see that is this into your priority? Because if you don't know your basic aqidah first, if a person doesn't know basic things, so let him get the basic ilm first, and what is connected with him, let him focus on that. And otherwise, look at scholars who are more righteous and pious and on the correct methodology, and take time being follow the scholars. For the time being, also remembering that we are following the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So now what happens is that for truth we have to know how much you will study, you will get to know. A hadith is either sahih or zaif. It can be sahih and zaif both. And ours is a religion of proof. You know what? A scholar says that this hadith is sahih. So you can ask him, Shaykh, what is the proof? It's proof. It's not I like it, it's sahih. So he has proof. And the one who says zaif, he also has proof. But the more a person struggles, the more he'll get to know that what is the right answer in this subject. Okay? So, but on the other hand, there's something called tolerance. In issues of ijtihad, when one scholar says one thing, another scholar says one thing. So even if you subscribe to the view of one scholar, don't come down to telling that these people, they don't accept my view, so they'll go to Jahannam. And they're all doing haram thing, wrong thing. Harsh attitude. That's the attitude of the Khawarij. They used to be like this. They even call the Sahaba gone. So what we should do is, we should also have tolerance. TT, truth and tolerance. Don't take the tolerance concept so far that you forget there's something called truth, and don't take the truth thing so far that you forget there's something called tolerance also. No problem, enjoy it, the background effects. Because we want them to study and become scholars, so let them be in the gatherings of ilm. So some people then say, banned children. We say, no problem. Let the mothers come and learn, inshallah. See, what happens is, if you are talking of tafsir, in the subject of tafsir, so there is of course correct recitation of the Quran, tajweed is there. There's something about the principles of tafsir. How do you get tafsir? How do you get to know that this verse means this? How do you get that tafsir? What are the principles of tafsir? So if you get the formula in that, try to get the formulas first. Application of the formula, if you get one formula, you can solve so many problems with the formula. It's important for us to get the formula. So focus more on the bigger things, then go into the details. And we have to know this basically. Every field has its own priorities. You can inshallah refer to the things. There's plenty of reference material available about this. See what happens, you read something, I'll repeat the question, you read something and you don't understand it, so then what do you do? If you read something you don't understand and there's some doubts which are coming, then what do? As the Prophet ﷺ said, Shifaul ayyi aswal, the cure of the question, the cure of ignorance is to ask. It's an authentic hadith. And as Allah says, Fasalu ahla dhikri in kuntum la ta'lamun. Ask the people of knowledge if you don't know. Now you know what has happened today? There's a very big disconnect between scholars and masses. So what happens is, students of knowledge, should have phone numbers, ready phone numbers of multiple scholars, and should overcome that shyness. You know, two things are stopping a person from seeking knowledge. One is arrogance. Mujhe sikhaunge, you'll teach me. And second is shyness. A person is so shy, he doesn't feel, ask only. So what happens, what he could have got in 2 minutes, he spends 20 years with that doubt. He could have solved it in 2 minutes by asking questions. So you should have multiple phone numbers of scholars with you, ready-made. Huh? List of 10 scholars, 1 is busy, 2 is busy, 3 is busy, 4 is busy, 10 number is available. Huh? You ask him, Sheikh, I have this question, but get connected with authentic scholars. Huh? Scholars who have on the methodology of the Quran and the Sunnah, who don't do shirk, who don't do bid'ahs and so on, all the basic usul. So now you get connected with these scholars and have multiple phone numbers available with you. Also, there are plenty of reference material websites where you can search also. So asking you can also ask Sheikh Google, who he should not give, the Sheikh Google will give you mixed results, but you should know which of the answers given by Sheikh Google are from authentic websites. There's a website called Ask Islampedia which filters also. You could use that also possibly. So what we do is ask. Don't be shy of asking. Don't be lazy of asking, in asking. And that way you can solve. But on the other hand, ask yourself, I have brought Iman in this deen. I have seen, Alhamdulillah, and I have brought Yaqeen. So there's no question of doubt. We'll put that on hold, but put it somewhere. Don't let the doubts remain. Yes, it's easy. Put down the questions, make a list, ask a scholar. Maybe one scholar may not have research in that specific subject. Second, third, fourth, don't lose hope. There are people who are experts, ask them inshallah. And without knowing specific questions, we are not going into specific questions, we are more into the principles on seeking knowledge today. So there are, let me also mention that we have covered 10 points, but they are not only 10 points, there are many more points. We have selected 10 points from the various points which scholars teach for students of knowledge. There are other pitfalls also. We've taken 10 today. Yeah. All pitfalls. How much caution? That's life. It's a test. You don't get to Jannah so easily. Yeah. It's not so cheap. You have to be cautious. Carry on. Yeah.
Suppose if we have some scholars we can ask. Sometimes what happens is we are not able to reach the scholar we do. So how do we find whether the authentic or is there any search engine like gives?
Yeah, I mentioned one search engine called Ask Islampedia. It has a compiled authentic resources and it will give results only from authentic resources. You can use that also, inshallah. Yeah? Islam QA is there, Alifta is there, Alifta, Fatwa website, Alifta, Islam QA is there, and many other sources are there, alhamdulillah. I think we've taken a lot of time. Brothers, I shared something with you today. I request all of you that make this source, this day today, this evening, something which will help you and me, all of us in our life. And don't forget, act on it inshallah, keep it safe, and you can plan your life in the light of the principles given to us from the Quran and the Sunnah. Don't fall in any of the pits, save yourself from that big pit and also from these 10 pitfalls which we saw today. They are very dangerous on the path of seeking knowledge. May Allah make of us of those who seek knowledge and act on it. Ameen wa akhir dawana.